Welcome back. I know it's been a minute since we've had any Elden Ring content out, but here we are back with another one. Hopefully it won't be quite as big of a gap until the next one comes out. I'm not planning on having a big gap. But here we have possibly my favorite invasion to date, because it's got its own story with it. So, without wasting any more time, you can see here, I'm fighting this Banished Knight dude with a massive shield, which was just super annoying to deal with because my weapon would just bounce off of it consistently. If he dropped his shield for half a second, I'd be able to like sneak a single hit in, but it usually wasn't enough damage because he had the Banished Knight armor, which just eats all of the damage. So I was really struggling. I didn't know if I was going to be able to beat this guy. What I didn't realize was that he was actually the host for a fight club that I had just interrupted. I did not realize that. I probably should have, because, you know, we're at the first step side of Grace area, which is like the fight club hotspot. But I didn't realize that. That's on me. But man, was I getting messed up by this dude. And this is where the story starts, right? So we've got what is like the Romans, okay? And I'm this like this lone farmer, this lone peasant. And they capture me, right? I get beat up by this dude in this fight, and that's like them capturing me, and I'm basically forced to become like a gladiator in their arena. So we've got our first challenger who ends up showing up here, and it's right here that I realize, oh shoot, I interrupted a fight club because the host just takes off. He's like, okay, finally we've got a fight to distract this person. I don't need to fight him anymore. So I feel a little bad for that. But first fight here, um, he tries to jump me, which I think was pretty cheap in the first place. I don't think he realized it was a fight club either, if I'm being honest. But you can see he really didn't stand much of a chance here. But regardless, he did fight pretty honorably, so of course got to hit him with the honor bow. And so now I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready to fight the next person, but I'd like to get up there in that healing, like where there's the healing stone, because I don't want to waste my crimson flasks or whatever. They don't know that I now know that it's a fight club though. So this dude, I'm like trying to show him by doing like the L1 spam, but yeah, he I guess does not believe me yet. He will eventually. But we've got our second contestant here, the other red. I was kind of scared because I needed to drink my red and blue Estus, and I didn't know if this dude was about to jump me or what, so I needed to like gain some distance. That's why I was running away. Okay, I wasn't trying to like actually flee from battle, but I just needed a second to like get my affairs in order before we fought this person. Now let's pause here so I can explain something for a minute. Whenever I go to fight anyone in an invasion, I always give them a little bit of respect. You know, just for being there, just for being in the invasion, you know, they get a little bit of respect, okay? And we're going to keep track of how much respect I give to this duelist right here. So, he starts out with 10 respect points, okay? And he's got a unique build, right? His weapons are not meta or anything. Dual whips is actually pretty unique because whips are about as bad of a weapon as it gets. The fact that he's willing to run that shows, you know, okay, he's there to have fun, to be cool, not to like just ruin kids' dreams, okay? So we'll give him 50 more respect points. And he's got some drip on. He doesn't have like the most meta armor set ever, Radahn's armor, which half of the people wear. So another 50, you know, respect points. You're going to see how fast he loses all of these points over the course of our duel. I'm going to keep track in the top right of how many times this man ruins my respect for him, and we'll keep the overall score on the left.
Going into this fight, I was pretty confident I was gonna come out on top because anyone running whips as their primary weapon, I mean, I respect it so much, as I've said before, but they're so bad. They do like no poise damage, they don't really do much damage at all. And aside from the fact that they can stun you like one time sometimes, like they're super telegraphed. So it's like you really have to be a noob in terms of PvP in order to get hit by the whips a ton. What was tricky was just landing a hit because this man could just roll like light roll, and I've got nothing against it, but because of that, when I do get a hit, I did so much damage. I did half of his health with that hit. It also helps that like my weapon was buffed too, but Oh my gosh, the amount of damage that I do to this man, if I can land a hit, is crazy. But you've already seen my respect for him is slowly dropping. I thought, and I believe this is the standard, that in a Fight Club duel or normal duel or whatever, you don't heal. That's just what you do, okay? So when this dude healed off the hit, I was like, okay, this dude doesn't know all the rules of the etiquette. And then he pulls out Bloodhound Step. I'm like, oh no, I thought you weren't gonna be like meta, and then all of a sudden he just starts Bloodhound Stepping everywhere. And healing so much. It was too much. It was too much. And I want to make something clear. I don't hate people that like use super meta things. Like I don't have anything against that. Like I'm not actively like, you know, spreading hate comments against those types of people. But I still lose a level of respect for people that just run the generic overpowered stuff. Because it's like, okay, like you're just like everyone else. You're not unique. Okay. And, you know, I had to point down at him. Not because of the Bloodhound Step, but just because he was healing. He chugged like 5 flasks. It was crazy. And you can see now that the host and I are chill. We're both on the same page. We realize, okay, yeah, this is a fight club. We don't need to be fighting each other anymore. And I see that now I've got a new contester, this Hunter. But I want to try and heal first without using my Crimson Flasks. So I'm going to try and run up on the hill and use the Healing Stone. I is at this point where I'm like, okay, how long am I just gonna keep fighting this man's stuff? Like I'm stuck fighting in this man's arena as his like champion. And to be honest, I thought it was fun. I'm like this champion gladiator that defeats every opponent thrown into the ring with me, and I'm like fighting for my freedom because I don't remember which movie it is, but there's like some movie about this like soldier or something that ends up getting like enslaved and is forced to become a gladiator, and once you win like a certain amount of battles, I think, then you gain your freedom and you're able to choose, okay, I can either keep fighting or I can leave and go be a free man, right? And that's how I felt right now, is I'm like fighting for my freedom, right? I gotta win enough battles in order to gain my freedom, but I don't know how I want to gain my freedom yet. Well, that's something we'll worry about later on once we've won a couple more battles. Right now, I'm just trying to heal up so I can get ready for this next duel against this Hunter. Before I can get down there, though, the Hunter finds his own contestant, and it's this other red with this bloody twin blade. I think that's what it's called, something like that. I haven't realized it yet, but it's the exact same person that I just got done killing, that had the double whips. But he had changed his build to be even more meta, removing what was originally like whip exclusive, and now using the bloody twin blade so that he can just melt through health. It's so disappointing that, like, when you lose doing something that isn't meta, you're forced to switch to something that is. Which, it's just so sad that you lose that uniqueness and just become this homogenous build. This isn't my first time dealing with a meta bleed build, so, I mean, this poor man just got struck, just poised through his whips and just melted him because he has no armor on. It's all just like the cloth drip, but no actual protection. And you can see now I'm like, I have fought your battles, I am your champion. Grant me my freedom. But no, he wants more fighting from me. The fighting will never end. So now I'm thinking to myself, this can only end one of 3 ways. Either I end up dying, fighting for my captor, the host, or I just give up and I sever the connection, right? I just leave. Or the third option, which I find the most fitting, is to betray the host and, while spectating a fight, backstab him. But I had to wait till just the right time, because the host, as you saw from the beginning of the video, he's got the massive shield that is so difficult to get through. So I've got to like wait for the perfect time to when he's got his guard down. He trusts me enough. I'm his loyal champion to where I can, you know, stab him in the back, you know, Caesar style. But I can't do it just yet because I have to fight this next contestant, and this one had me worried. I genuinely thought I was gonna die to this dude because he again the wonderfully meta Bloodhound step with the Ultra Great Sword, which just makes absolutely no sense. That the tank build is supposed to be a tank. It's like it does a ton of damage. It's got like a ton of poise, but no, Bloodhound step just says yeah, bypass that one down to the tank build, and now he gets to do a ton of damage with a ton of poise that stuns me, and he moves super fast and is very almost impossible to hit because he's got the most iframes possible. I kid you not. I was literally shaking during this fight because I'm committed to this story. I was like, I cannot die now. I'm this champion. I fought like 3 or 4 people and won. I got lucky enough to catch this blue with his pants down. He didn't have either of his weapons out. So I got him down. He was literally one hit, but I was like barely missing hits, and you can see I'm like panicking. I'm just like R1 spamming even when I'm nowhere near him. I'm like, I barely have enough stamina to dodge his crouch pokes. Oh my gosh, I can't complain enough about the Ultra Great Sword crouch pokes. I mean, to be fair, it's the only way that it's even like usable in PvP, because normally like its other swings are just so slow. But oh my gosh, I squeaked that one out. But when I finished that one, I could like feel my heart pumping. The adrenaline was just crazy on that fight. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm just like, I'm flexing on him. I've got all the showboating towards the host. I see this next invader. And after beating the double greatsword Bloodhound step with the high poise armor, I'm like, I can win every single fight here. I was not worried at all. So fast forward to this fight, which didn't last very long. It's just an absolute lag fest. To be honest, the teleporting lagsters scare me the most because I can't tell if either A, they're hacking, or B, I'm about to just like instantly die because I don't know if I'm the one lagging sometimes or if they're the one lagging. Luckily in this situation it was them, so they just like all of those hits all added up all at once. I feel bad for those people. I don't feel like I was justified in winning, and if I'm being honest, it's also just a very boring fight in the first place. Like, no one wants to fight those people and win, because it's not fun. It's not fun at all when they can't even, like, hit you, and then all of your hits just, like, all land on them all at once, that they would have been able to dodge if they weren't lagging. And now we approach the Betrayal. You can see here I equipped the Hammer Talisman, which is perfect for this man's shield, because it means I lose less stamina when I hit him while he's blocking. I just gotta wait for him to be watching this fight, because these two people who just got summoned are about to start fighting each other. I'm gonna pretend like I'm just spectating. Okay? He has no clue what's about to hit him, and this is how I'm finally gonna gain my freedom. Do I feel bad at all for this? I mean, yeah, of course. But I feel like not only was I getting revenge, for him messing me up before, but this was the only way I could gain my freedom was by slaying my captor. It was just the only way that made sense. And boy, was this stressful. With the R1 spamming. Oh my gosh. To be honest, after that move, I lost a lot of respect in myself, because I would have never lost. I would have never won to that man in a straight 1v1. Only through the cheap backstab was I even able to beat him.